Hello. Hello? Hello. Make sure you are checking the chat for any announcements for online people. No questions right now. Focus on your do now. Looking for work and help some of you out a lot to get this correct. Make sure it's in the middle. Working on the do now. You have 4 minutes. Keep working on your exit ticket. Your do now. Same thing. If you finish your exit ticket early, take out your notebook, have it open with circumference written on top, lesson 65, and the I can statement for today. You're gonna have less than 2.5 minutes. The same symbol for both measures you have together for the next one. If there's different track, the larger is got a minute and a half. Oh, I should probably check these people off. His husband knows who's here. Sean. Bria, yes, good to see you, Bria. Madison, yes, good to see you. Mark, good to see you. Lindsay, good to see you. One minute. Make sure both your feet are on the ground, that you're sitting straight up with your back. Awesome. Thank you so much. We are professionals. We're awesome. Remember, if you're done, put it in the middle and open up your notebooks. You have 30 seconds. Once the beeper beeps, you have 10 seconds to have your notebook ready to go. Remember, I will collect your notebooks at the end of class. Or not the end of class, but on your test. So make sure you guys filled out as much as possible so that you can get that point. All right, you have 10 seconds to have your notebook ready to go. Today, we are talking about lesson 65, circumference and pi. That should be on the top of your page, along with the I can statement. I can find the circumference using pi. See that with me, class? I can find the circumference using pi. Try that one more time. I can find the circumference using pi. Today is a short lesson. There are 2 examples for today, which means if we get through these 2 examples today, you have time to work on your homework. And if you keep your voices off and leave the classroom, you only have evens. So make sure that you are tracking to get this done, and you'll have plenty of time on your homework. As we learn about circumference with pi. I'm skipping all this. Oops. So it says, we're going to read the first example for today. As Demine joins the group. Go ahead, Braylon.
The radius of a circle is 10 centimeters. What is the circumference?
Because we've had this before, we've had a little bit of review of this. What is that formula for circumference if you happen to remember it? If not, it'll be popping on the screen and you'll be copying it down a lot. Braylon?
3.14.
Okay, I'm going to give you a payment because 3.14 is one of the substitutes we use for pi, because pi is a never-ending number. We could start writing it on this wall, and then we would probably run out of wall to write it, because it's a never-ending number. So instead of using, because you guys aren't allowed to use those fancy calculators yet, we use just 3.14. Anyway, here is the formula. Circumference equals pi times the diameter. Copy that down, big letters in your notes on the top, on the left, on the right. I need to see you write this down at least 3 times because this is the important part. Circumference equals pi times the diameter. And you see that written 3 times in your notes. Pi times the diameter equals circumference. Circumference equals pi times diameter. And we have to do this because somebody long ago decided to make things that are circular. Because we can't do a perimeter, because if we have a circle, there's no edges. So if we want to find out how much room is inside of a circle, we have to do this special formula, which involves pi. Who in the class can tell me what the diameter is? What's the diameter? Taylor? Sorry, what? No, that's not quite it, the diameter. Any other guesses? Josiah, want to take a random guess?
Is it distance?
Braylon.
Is it distance around the circle?
Not around the circle. Diameter is the distance from one side to the other. So that straight line across is your diameter. The line all the way through is your diameter. But in the question, what does it tell you that you have? Lawrence?
10 centimeters.
But what's the word in front of it that starts with an R?
Oh, reduce.
Not reduce. Destiny, can you read this word? One more time louder.
Radius.
Correct. It's the radius. What's a radius? We got a diameter that's all the way across. What do you think a radius is? Leah?
The little dot in the middle.
It is going to involve a dot in the middle, but why? Jaquel? Yes! Perfect, Jaquel. It is halfway. So I'm going to go over here so you can see the difference. The radius is from the center just to one side, so it's half the diameter. So let's go. Black is for radius, and blue is for diameter. So the formula we have is circumference equals pi times the diameter. All we have is the radius. What can we do to the radius to find the diameter, since it's half of the diameter? Radius is half of the diameter, so what can we multiply 10 by to find the diameter? Show me with your fingers. Look around, give in to peer pressures. I'm willing for 100%. Up here's got it right. Lauren's got it right. This back row's got it right. Josiah, stop doing that. That's really weird. Waiting for 100%. I got like 68% right now. Going up to 70. 85. We're on to 99. Waiting on one more. All right, got it. Peace sign. Right, you multiply it by 2. So 10 times 2 class equals?
20.
10 times 2?
20.
All right. So now you have your formula, and I'm going to have you rewrite it one more time. You're going to write C equals I times, I'm just going to write D for diameter. Then underneath it, I'm going to write C equals pi, in parentheses, times 20. That's how I'm going to ask to see your work on a lot of this assignments. I want to see the formula first. I want to see you fill the formula in, and then we'll get the answer. Capiche? So now, what do you write first when you show your work? Ooh, someone's not listening. Who can tell Natalie what you're supposed to write first when you show your work? You write the... Lawrence?
Your work?
Nope. Taylor?
Something equals.
No. Josiah?
What?
No. Leah? Correct. Thank you. I'm going to give you payment for getting that right. You write the formula first, then you fill it in, and then you answer. Leah, where's your name? Oh, there it is. Now, like Braylon said, we're going to take 20 times 3.4. I'm going to move this over here. I would say keep writing it underneath. So we're going to change pi to C equals 3.14 times 20. Remember, because if there's parentheses and it's right next to the number, we're multiplying real quick. You got 10 seconds. Someone find me the answer of 3.14 times 20. Oh, Josiah's already done. What do you got, Josiah? Oh. Anyone else got anything different? All right. What is 3.14 times 20? Taylor? Is that what you said? Let's see if you are correct. Where is it? Oh, I forgot. We're not even supposed to answer this one. 62.8.
Oh, very well.
So, Josiah, warning. Next time you talk out of turn, be a deduction. 62.8 centimeters is your actual answer. You got to remember, because there's two numbers behind the decimal, you have to move the decimal twice, which will get you 62.8, because your real answer would be 6,280. Move the decimal twice, 62.8. Bish? All right. Make sure this is all in your notes, because like I said, this should be an easy A. Please don't leave your notebook blank. Example 2, I need you to copy down all 3 circles, A, B, and C, and what's underneath them in your notes. Don't be sloppy. Don't gotta be perfect. Definitely should not be sloppy. Cherish looks like she's done. Make sure you also got the stuff right underneath them as well. Once you're done, I want you to bring it back, which means your feet underneath. Sit straight up, and your hands folded. Your desk. Alrighty then. Gee, Ryan, thank you so much for showing me how to sit. Braylon as well. Alright, most of you look like you are done. So now we're going to be talking about ways to find the circumference of each circle and how we're going to write it. I'm just going to show you what's going to happen on the board, because if I try to write it out, it's going to look sloppy, because writing on the board is pretty difficult. So first of all, I need you to copy all these down. You see how they have the formula on the very first line. Then it gives you different stuff to use. So this is very important for your homework. If it tells you use this for pi, then this is what you're going to do. Because it's either 3.14, 22/7, which is pi, and also just leave pi as pi. So make sure you copy all 3 of those down. So these are the 3 different ways you can write pi. And in a little bit, we're going to see why, or how your answer will look with these 3 different forms of pi. I think this is when it's getting good. So I do have a quick clarification question. Why down here does it say 20 when we had 10 up here? Why do we have 20 down here and 10 up here? Braylon knows, Taylor knows. So I really need to make sure you guys know this. And also, I'm a little confused because seriously, we have a 20 down here when we have a 10 up here in the circle. Why? How in the world could that possibly happen? Cherish? I don't quite understand what you mean by other 10 centimeters. Can anyone else try to explain it clearer? London?
10 times 2.
10 times 10 would give you 100, not 20. So how in the world did we get to 20? Especially for those who are trying to sleep on their arms. Leah?
The other half of the price.
Right, because what is this half called for a payment? Braylon? Radius, correct. And for a payment, who can tell me what is the full length? Cherish? Well, that's what it is, but what's the D called down here? Chical? Correct. Chical, are you even on this? Write your name down here. Okay, right. So these are the 3 different ways you can write pi, and here are the 3 different answers you would get. You see that this one's written as normal, 94.2. When you substitute for 3.14, for 22 over 7, you get 44 feet. That is normal. The last one, though, is not normal. So if you leave pi as pi, then your answer will look like this. 22 pi centimeters. And the pi has to be between the number and the label. Remember, you're in 6th grade now. We're back in person. Your labels count. So make sure you read the entire problem and you write down the correct label. But if it says leave pi as pi in your homework or your exit ticket, that's how your answer should look. Capiche? 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 Thank you. So note the form of answer C, first 20 times pi, then the unit of measure. So you got to say, you can't have 20 centimeters pi, doesn't make sense. Someone who is a math person will look at you funny. We don't want that to happen. Right, 20 pi centimeters. Bish? Thank you for listening. We're going to skip that. This is all it's asking is why is it 22 over 7? Well, because 22 over 7 as a decimal is 3.14. All right, any questions on how you answer this? Braylon?
So you always gotta write the formula down first.
I would like you to write down the formula first because there might be teachers in your future who say you just need to know this off the top of your head. When you take the ACTs, the SATs, all these kinds of different tests, they don't give you the formulas. You are supposed to just know them, which to me I always thought was unfair, but that's what life is. So when you show your work, first write down the formula, and on your exit ticket it has it, your notes have it, your book has it. Fill in the spots, because also what do you have to do if the problem just gives you the diameter? So for instance, or the radius. So for instance, A up here, 4 inches is the radius. What would the diameter be? If it's 4 inches is the radius, what would the diameter be? I need you to say nice and loud, Natalie. If it's 4 inches is the radius, what is the diameter? Who can help her out? Because she was not listening in class, apparently. Josiah, since you're nice and close.
So you take the diameter, right?
Yeah, we're looking for the diameter of A. What would the diameter of A be?
8.
8. Now, who can explain why it would be 8? So that Natalie can hear and listen, because this is a big part of today's lesson. Lawrence?
Because of the other half.
Right, because the other half. So you can either add 4 plus 4 or 4 times 2, and you'll get 8, which is the full diameter. And Josiah, Braylon, and Lawrence, thank you for raising your hand so consistently. I'm going to give you each payment. Where's Josiah? Lawrence and Josiah. I guess I can't find him. He's not getting a payment. All right. Since there's no more questions, notebooks to the side, pencils above your head. Remember, now that we're handing out the exit ticket with I here underneath, you get all 30 problems. When you are done, raise it above your head and you will get the math sheet. Make sure you're not starting until I say go. Make sure you write 6A on top. Use your notes, use the top for help, and then use your book. And if all else fails, you can ask me for help. But you have 3 sources of help before you even need to look at my face. Get ready, get set, seagull. Go. Good patience on somebody. Some people definitely. You have 7 minutes. Leah. If you go right now, it'll be a deduction. If you wait till you're done with that, it will not be a deduction. For those who are online, please raise your hand if you have a question.